Yes. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion, Messi is better than, but in my mind, I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy Carhartt cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay.
Hey guys, I'm Si. Welcome to A.C.E Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. And this is episode number 20. And that completely threw me because the intro just stopped before I finished. So I don't know what happened there. But we're live on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter as always. A.C.E Podcast Nation, as you know, home to many a great show and series, expert analysts, top guests and more. So do give us a follow on social media, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course please do check out the Patreon for some more exclusive content, extra stuff. And if you prefer the podcasts in audio form, then you'll find this show and all of our shows at the Sports Social Podcast Network, the UK's first all sports podcast network. And they do daily Premier League shows. They've got all sorts of podcasts, but ultimately A.C.E Podcast Nation got you covered for all that stuff anyway. As you know, as we wait for a few of the stragglers now, we will go through the Super 6 update. We're supporting the Charities Super 6 League this season, raising money for two great charities, Maggies Centres and Mind. Just a heads up straight away, Rhodri missed the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, so he had everyone had a little bit of a head start on him. But Craig Sullivan, our very own, is still top of the pile. But this week, it's well done to Vicky Gillen, about half of Will, who came out on top with 16 points. Only 2 behind her was Mike Flint and Jason Whitworth. And for celebrity players, Lee Jarman finished highest with 11. Myself second with 8 points. But and for thirds, should I say. Unfortunately, Rhodri managed to pull a massive 1 point back on me as he had 9 points. I was stitched up by a couple of late goals. Otherwise, I'd have extended my lead over Rhodri, which now stands at 26 points. But the next round is 3 o'clock Saturday. So please get your predictions in, all that good stuff. Don't forget. Shout out to Matthew Angel, who's not feeling too grand, but hopefully he'll be back joining us soon enough. But as ever, join me, former Salford City winner, Mr. Rhodri Giggs. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
What's happening? You all right?
Yes, mate. Just taking on this massive, mate. It's never going to be any. I reckon there'll probably be at least 20 now for the rest of the season. You might get it down to like 21.
The best thing about this is that it's all recorded.
Nah, I'll delete anything which is anything which involves me being corrected or proven
it's
wrong.
All recorded.
Just mysteriously disappears.
You've had a 5-week start. You're chatting your shit, and you
5 weeks. So what's that? That's like an average of 5 points a week, 26 points.
So I'll give you a start.
Nothing,
so what you need really, but still not enough.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I didn't really start for 5 weeks either. Like I only had a few points in that first 5 weeks, so
well, that's not my fault. That's not my fault of your incompetency, is it?
Yeah, it's all good. 26 points, all for charity anyway. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway. That's the main thing. But a good week for Lee Jarman, I saw there. Well done him.
If you do win, I'll get you a present. Probably an A to Z to Cardiff.
I need some help. Geography. I was speaking to Andrew. I do the wrestling podcast with, who lives in America, and he started talking about like, oh yeah, so I'm going up from Washington or something, and he started saying, and then I'm going to go to Canada and then down to Texas, and I was like, right, so you're going to leave America to go back, like, and then go back and trying to explain to him my difficulties with geography in Wales and the UK, let alone in America where I've never been. But
never mind anywhere else, just your own place where you live. Just find out
just
where
trying
that
to
is.
get
That'll
me
do.
around Cardiff, mate.
Yeah, that'll do.
I don't go anywhere, mate. The studio. So I don't need to know anywhere else. Shop, studio. That's about it. But
It was down the bay.
I know, mate, but I don't. I avoid the bay, mate, because if I go down the bay, my missus will be like, "Let's go to IKEA," and that's why I avoid it. That's my least favourite thing to do is go to IKEA, mate. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was lucky enough that it was a road that I probably played on about 40 years ago, 45 years ago.
That's it, mate. Yeah, but I'm going to be driving up to Manchester. Well, I'm going to be going to Manchester. I think I might not be driving up now, but up to see you. So I'm looking forward to that. But we'll work it out. So it's been an interesting week, mate, in the world of football. It's difficult to know where to start, but I think I'm going to start with I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but Dingy, I don't know, from Everton to Villa, and one of the first things he said in his opening interview was, "I've only come here because of Gerrard," which is something which you've said a lot. Obviously, Coutinho joined earlier in the week. Gerrard's proven that he's got that big pull already, regardless of, yes, Aston Villa historically massive club, but in recent years, they haven't been all that. But he's getting the players he wants, and not just that, they're good footballers, like top Premier League, top European footballers. So, be interesting. What do you think of it as a signing generally?
The left back, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. But he's obviously, he's an international. So, and I told you this before, that if I was a player and I was watching the way Steven Gerrard talks, the way he's going in his career, in his managerial career, and obviously the player, the stature of the player, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer because you can tell that he's come there and the players have upped it 20%. You could see that by the performances, and you just Coutinho, now this fella, and that's just the beginning because they're going to back him because he'll do well for him. Yeah, he's obviously got a big fight on his hand because he's Newcastle coming up on the rails now, but you've got Leicester, Everton, Tottenham, Arsenal, United, West Ham. So it's not going to be easy, but big clubs. But Aston Villa's a big club. Not many people have won the European Cup in England football, and they're one of the clubs that have actually won it.
And they won it when it was only the winners as well.
Exactly.
You could argue that it was harder to win it back then. I don't know, but like Will said there, I'm pretty sure he was Everton's highest assist provider last year, or maybe this year. But he's. I saw a few Everton fans kind of saying, he's been rubbish this year, but from a purely stats point of view, he's pretty good. And I think he's had a couple of decent seasons.
Yeah, but the stats. What about the other way? He's left back, isn't he? So he's good defensively. That's what that's what you kind of bought him for, no? Or maybe they sacrificed a little bit of that for his offensive play. So
I said to you before Gerrard was linked with leaving Rangers, I was impressed with the way he spoke, that the job he did at Rangers, you could tell the players were buying into his way of doing things, etc. The one thing that is difficult to judge with those Scottish jobs is because it's just Rangers and Celtic. There's always one of them who's going to win. It is difficult to gauge.
Oh mate, come on! When he took over,
look, he's come in and done amazing.
When he took over, they were in League One or something, and then in 2 years he's got them champions and competing in Europe, beating good teams in Europe, by the way. And, yes, it's Celtic, but they've reigned for a long time there. And like I say, they're coming from behind. But he's done a I told you, I don't care what people say. I'm a big Steven Gerrard fan. I've told you that before, and I'll tell you again. But, he's... I agree with him turning round to the old Stretford end when they were shouting his name. But, he's obviously... he's experienced. He wanted to do that, and good luck to him. But do you know the song that we're singing?
No, go on.
Steven Gerrard. He slips on with Demba Ba. Something with Demba Ba. Steven Gerrard. That's that. Yeah, something with Demba Ba. Slip with Demba Ba. Yeah, and they were singing that.
Can't
too.
knock him, mate. He's done a phenomenal job at Villa straight away, and I've been impressed with him at Rangers and now at Villa. And when you look at those players that he's brought in, those players would not have signed for Aston Villa without Steven Gerrard.
How much we bet? How much? Sorry to interrupt. How much are we having that in 2 years Jack Grealish is playing for Aston Villa?
Depends if Gerrard's still there, doesn't it? Because it just I know
because if it carries on for another year like this, Grealish, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say it just Klopp's going to go at some point. It's just where he goes. If he goes in, say, this summer, Gerrard, I don't think takes over. If he goes in 2 summers, 3 summers, Gerrard's a shoo-in to take over, in my opinion.
Well, Klopp's not going to leave now, is he? He's not.
No, I reckon
he's going to leave when they're going to be on the decline, aren't they?
I don't know. I think
you're not going to leave at the top.
No,
side.
I think he's got 3 years in him. I think he's got another 3 in him at Liverpool after this season. That's what my prediction would be. But I just think if he can sign Coutinho, albeit on loan, if he can sign Coutinho now, where Villa are mid-table at best, could you, who could he sign if Villa get top 6 in a couple of years or in the next year? Do you know what I mean? That opens up a whole nother transfer window almost, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because
what
it's
a lovely. About Grealish, you think you're going to go?
It's a lovely place to play football. I've always watched good games at Villa Park. I'm sure the opposition like to play there because it's a lovely place to play football. But no, I just think if it carries on for another year, and it's Grealish is out of here, and Aston Villa buying back for 40, 50 million.
What do they sell him for?
I could see that. Mil? Pardon?
What do they sell him for? 100 mil?
100, yeah.
Yeah, just sell him, buy him back for 50. You've made 50 mil.
But Villa
and kept playing.
Yeah, it's I've told you this before. It's a big club, Villa. So yeah, it's they've got some good players as well. Back. I'm not a big fan of that Mings, but he does a job for you. He does a job for you, and they've got some decent players.
I was just looking at so Lucas Digne has made 113 Premier League appearances. He's had 31 clean sheets, 18 assists, and he's scored 4 goals. But he's also can play left wing as well and defensive midfield. So he seems like he's a bit versatile in where he can play. Seems like a decent signing, mate. I think. Obviously, Coutinho is what it is. If he can get the best out of Coutinho, then he's a world-class player. The problem has been, I would argue, maybe there was patches at Liverpool where he wasn't great, but then when he was great, he was unbelievable. And then he's gone to Barca, and I think he's had a bit of a spotty time. There's no doubt in the quality of a footballer. It's just you've got to get his head right. Is Gerrard the guy? I would say there's a good chance he will be because he knows he's seen him when he's been at his best and what's made him tick. So I would argue that Gerrard's got a good chance of doing that.
There's no doubt I'm expecting to see in the next 2 or 3 months Coutinho that left Liverpool. If Gerrard gets into him.
Yeah, I think it's a great signing. So I want to get your take.
And plus, this is what I'm saying to you, mate. If Dean Smith's there, Coutinho doesn't go to Aston Villa.
Of course he doesn't. No,
doesn't happen.
Not a chance. they'd be in the race to pay 25 million for Chris Wood, mate. Now there's a link for you, right? I want to know your opinion on this, but this is my take. If I'm Newcastle and I've got 25 million to spend on a striker, I ain't spending it on Chris Wood. But all right, let's say Chris Wood's on the shortlist. I would rather spend 25 million on Kiefer Moore in the hope that I can get him back to his form for Wales and Cardiff last season, at the age he's at, the ability, etc., than I would spend 25 million on Chris Wood, who has never been a prolific goal scorer, is 30 years old. No way would I be paying that for him. But maybe, you see it differently. Chris Wood's 30, Kiefer Moore's 26, I think, maybe even younger.
They're not going to buy someone from the Championship who third, fourth relegation. Come on, mate.
Doesn't matter though. But if you look at it,
it does. It doesn't. It's not proven Premier League goal scorer.
So I'm just having a look. Kiefer Moore is 29, I suppose. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Chris Wood. Chris Wood is. I see what people understand, but look at the bigger picture. They just want to get out. They're not going to bring Mbappe in now to this squad.
No, of course not.
You have to be realistic. You have to bring a player that's going to help your squad out. So he's big. He's going to hold it up. He's going to bring people, the better players into play as well. And it'll give you an odd goal or two. So I think it's a no-brainer. It's a good move for Chris Wood because in 12 to 18 months he won't be getting a game and he'll be on his way out. So it's a big payday for him. So they just They've probably looked at the market and looked at what's available.
Yeah.
And Chris Wood was obviously the best option.
So Newcastle need goals. Like, one of the things they're lacking is a goal scorer. They've got a couple of decent forwards, but they're not prolific. Chris Wood's return in the last 3, 4, 5 seasons as the most he's scored in one season is 14. 14 goals in a season, which was 3 seasons ago. Kiefer Moore in the last 5 seasons have scored. Look, I would guess. I'm just looking now, but I would imagine it's more than that per season every time. So Kiefer Moore last season scored 20. Season before scored 10.
Mate, you just don't saying that. I'm being realistic here. You're saying this from Cardiff. Why the hell would they be looking in a Championship side?
Because
third or fourth
you
and
could
bottom.
get a cheaper.
Yeah, but they're not. Mate,
who's better?
Mate, they've got 350 billion. They don't give a shit about the cheap option. They've got money coming out their arsehole.
I'd argue even from a football point of view,
but the gambling there with Kiefer Moore.
I can see that.
Proven goal scorer. So why would you gamble when you've got money to burn? He's not proven in the Premier League. You've got players coming in who have played with Chris Wood, i.e. Kieran Trippier when he was at Burnley. So they know each other.
I can see that.
So you just got to look at the bigger picture. They probably look to what's available. Kiefer Moore, yes, I like him, but come on, mate, no chance. You're only saying that because you're Cardiff.
And I suppose
it's just not going to happen.
Maybe if they didn't have the amount of money they've got to spend, then I'd say, maybe it's like when they've got that much money to spend.
Gambling,
like 25 million for Kiefer Moore.
Gambling on a relegation
for Chris Wood. Yeah, I can see it like from both sides. I just think if you didn't have that amount of money, then maybe it would be a better deal.
Yeah, you still would be going nowhere near Kiefer Moore if you was a Premier League side. Maybe like someone like Norwich or Watford. But, Newcastle United have just been took over by the richest people in the world.
Yeah, when you look at it from a financial point of view. But I just don't get, the Chris Wood thing, mate. I honestly,
because he's a good working, solid, hard working. He'll keep the ball for you up top. He will leave pressure. He'll running channels. He'll do all that dirty work for you. And he'll get a goal for you. So I don't see, bet he couldn't get away from Burnley quick enough.
Oh, yeah, God, for him, great deal, isn't it? Great deal.
Like I say, in 12 to 18 months, he won't be playing. He'll be down the road, but he would have done a job for him. And 25 million to them, great. He's done us a job, kept us in. Cheers. Ashtray change to him.
But for instance, say you mentioned they got more money than sense. Yeah, they could spend as much money as they want to. Why wouldn't you stick a 75 million bid in from Mikel Antonio?
But this is what I'm saying. That he's not. Why would Mikel Antonio? Why would I leave?
Well, why is anyone going there at the moment? Money.
No, but Burnley's going there he's going there from Burnley. We're in a relegation fight. He's gone from Newcastle. Yes, we're in a relegation fight, but he's gone for big wages and they're probably up and coming. Burnley haven't got a pot to piss in. They don't spend money, and they're struggling, and they might be at the end of the line. So, yeah, it's just they can't bring Antonio. Why would you leave West Ham United, who are flying, to go to Newcastle? First of all, it's freezing, like I've told you, Newcastle, and West Ham. He's a London guy. Why the hell? No.
Gav's just said in the chat he's agreeing with you, and he says Chris Wood can hold the ball up, right?
Yeah.
Mate, you can't pay 25 million for a striker because he can hold the ball up. He doesn't score any goals.
25 million. Look at it this way, right? 25 million. About 20 years ago, this would have been about 2 million. This is what you've got to look at. This is the inflation of the prices is a joke.
Yeah.
An absolute joke.
And
so
I think that's
25 million,
just
got to, they're going to be overinflated, Newcastle prices, because they've got the money. And it's either you pay it or you don't get them. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen. And you look at Manchester City, they will get it wrong. Robinho, they brought him in. What happened to him? It was crap. It was a big name. You can't do it. You've got to bring the Edin Dzekos, the hard workers who will get your goals, who are quality as well. Not these, flamboyant players who are going to come and just pick up a paycheck and just be crap and not team players. So you look how City have gone and how they got it wrong and then they started to get it right. There's your template there.
I do get it. Like I get that. They can't go and sign the kind of extravagant players and the Mbappes of the world. I get that they're not there yet. I do get that. My argument is
having Mbappe. He's going to be stood there not getting the ball.
Yeah, but my argument is for 25 million they could get someone better.
Ball up, scrap the centre halves. Mbappe ain't going to do that.
That's basic requirements for a professional footballer, isn't it? Like you're talking.
No, I understand that, but it's different kind of fights. You know what I mean? Mbappe's not going to get involved with physical fight and stuff like that. That's where they're at the minute. They're in a battle, so they need battling players. And Chris Wood is a battering ram who can hold the ball up, and he'll get you your goal.
I just think.
I think it's a good move. Yes, I wouldn't have thought about it. When you do think about it, I think it makes sense. He's been in this situation multiple times with Burnley. So there's no pressure in. Doesn't seem like
I'll find you some better options now. If you give me a couple of minutes, and I'll go through the Premier League strikers, and I'll find you a better option for same sort of price.
Go on,
but I'll have a look now over the next couple of minutes, and we'll come back to it. Rather than us waiting. But yeah, it's a weird one. I would just argue that for that money you could get someone better. But we'll come back to it. Don't think that's going to be the end of Newcastle.
We'll have to wait and see. At the end of the season, if they stay up, then...
Burnley, I think Burnley are in trouble now, mate, without him, because he is their focal point, who they try and play off. And without him, I think they're going to have a problem, because so much of their game is played up to him, and he either runs the channels or he holds it up, and the other players are trying to play off him. Without that focal point, when you play so deep, and you play quite direct, I do think that can cause a problem. Will they get the 25 million to replace him themselves? Probably not.
Mate, I've just told you they don't care about the 25 million. That's dropping the ocean too.
No, I mean
all they
want
to do is program. Well, no, they'll probably get half of it. That's how they operate. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. But without Wood for Burnley, because Burnley
they're in deep trouble with Wood. They were in deep trouble with Wood.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Now they haven't got focal point.
I've spoken to people who have been there and watched him, and I've watched him myself. They're in deep doo-doo. So, Sean Dyche is amazing there, but, he's got a battle this year because they're struggling.
Yeah, I just think like I say, because they play so direct and because they sit so deep and then they play up to it, the likes of Wood, he holds it up and then their midfielders are trying to play off him.
But they're going to have to...
no one to do it off now, are they?
Yeah, but they're going to have to transform that. They're going to have to a different kind of... I don't know. They don't. Eddie Howe's a decent coach.
He is, yeah.
I'm sure
He is.
he's got something in mind. You know, you've got to think of it. I mean, set pieces as well, and defending his own goal, all this kind of stuff. You know, it's a good signing for me. It's a no-brainer, to be honest. If they get relegated, and you say, "Well, it was a bad move," but I don't see that happening. By the end of January, they'd have signed probably 2 or 3 more players, and they look half decent. They've an English international, you know, a steady Premier League goal scorer, probably another midfielder, and maybe someone else. You know.
There you go. There's one suggestion straight away. Pookie from Norwich would have been a better option, probably for a similar money.
Pookie from Norwich,
Mate,
yeah,
miles better.
Mate,
miles
are you
better.
taking the
and
piss?
He does the same job.
Are
Do you not see him in the Euros?
Right. Oh, we're in the Premier League. He had one good fucking season and he got relegated. He's
yeah, but
crap.
that's because Norwich is horseshit.
No, he's crap. No, I'm not.
What's the bloke who plays for Brentford who scored all the goals in the
championship?
Tony.
I'd have him. Yeah, but Tony. You're not going to get him for 25 million. I guarantee you that.
30, 35.
No chance. No chance. He is a £50 million. Have you seen him? He's a beast. He's an upcoming young player, a Drogba type, strong, fit, can score goals, dynamic, quick. You ain't getting him for 25 million. You're mad.
What about Divock Origi from Liverpool? He's only a squad player. Pay the money.
Oh, God.
Haaland. There you go. Haaland. Could have got him for 25 mil.
Origi. Come on.
Aubameyang. There you go. Aubameyang just been stripped of the captaincy.
Bangyan, yeah. Until his mates have the night out in London, he fucks off and thinks, I'm not coming to training tomorrow.
There's that.
So you want someone in that? If you want someone in that club, yeah, get him. Bring him in. Great. Have a right fucking tool in the changing room. Great.
Someone's got to have him.
Yeah, great. Put him captain as well. That'll make him better.
Just so we can take it off him.
Please.
So your club, United, have been on the PR offensive this week. So all those negative stories seem to have magically changed to a lot of positives about how Ralph Raniak's spoken to individual players, and then you get all the players tweeting about how they respect him and they're all working in the same direction. Like you said last week, mate, it's absolute bollocks because they've shown on the pitch what they think, but also with their attitude and their lack of effort. But also someone's been leaking those stories for the 2-3 weeks before this week. And I just think that the hypocrisy of, and this is what I think you mentioned it last week, actually, when they lose a game or they play badly and you see the same tweets, oh, we've got to put it right and we've got to work together to do it right. But then you see the same thing every week. And when I was seeing these kind of tweets come out sporadically, but all saying the same thing, I was just like, it's just hypocritical bullshit, mate, honestly. I thought you hit the nail on the head last week when you had a bit of a rant about the attitude and the attitude and the dedication of some of those players who have just consistently let the football club down, stitched up the managers. And like Craig says there, you had the same stories coming out about Ollie and the players. And it was like the same sort of cycle of things. You'd have negative stories, and then you'd have the managers sat them down and had a chat. I don't know. It baffles me. It really does. Like a bunch of kids. But like, how do you see it, mate? As a fan who probably follows it a bit more closely than what I do.
Reading between the lines, you've just got a big group of babies who can't take constructive criticism. You know, the toys come out the pram or they take it the wrong way. You know, if you've got an experienced player, never mind if it's shouting at you or he's trying to give you advice off probably one of the world's greats, or any experienced player, you take it on board and you learn from it, and you don't whinge, you don't sulk, you don't shouting at me. This is what it just makes you want to scream. It's just a bunch of babies, overpaid babies that are scared of a bit of criticism and not willing to pull the sleeves up and take that constructive criticism. It's just reading between the lines. It just stinks, and it's a worry that stuff is getting leaked out. That is a big worry. That's what I'd be concentrating on the most. How are these stories getting out? Who is leaking these stories? That is a worry in itself, because there's a rat in the camp. And when
They
there's a
need
rat
to do what Colleen Rooney did, didn't they?
and when there's a rat in the camp, you know, it's a lot more. It's
Complex,
isn't it?
isn't it,
It's a lot
in the
more
team
complex.
thing.
Yeah, you've got like 25, 30 players. It could be like one player who's just like not happy and he's just chatting rubbish. But you know, this goes back before all. It goes back to Jose Mourinho. So you know,
I think it started
some of
with,
the same players.
Started when Van Gaal was in charge. You saw these sorts of stories being leaked
Yeah,
by
well,
players.
it shouldn't have been though, mate. Because when Van Gaal was there, he's got assistant manager. He was a player there for 20 odd years, so he should have seen that and smelt it and put a stop to it. So, and throughout, there's been players that have played for the club. So if they'd seen it, they should have stopped it. So for it to get to this point is a worry, because who's not? You know, like we go back to Steven Gerrard. Yes, he looks a good coach, but you know, and he knows what he's doing, but he's got that bit of nastiness about him. And if you go against him, then you're down the road or you're off. They don't seem to have that. That's what you need. You need a manager. You have respect for his coaching abilities and what he's doing, but have that, you know, almost, you know, a bit scared of him. Not scared, but
Respect.
Yeah, just like, you know, I don't want to upset him or, you know, just anything along them lines. So, yeah, it just stinks with a load of babies, and it may be even one or two, but that's all it takes. And you know what I'm seeing and what I'm reading. You know, Harry Maguire's going. He just needs to shut up and you just play football. Just get back, concentrate, and get in your game back, because he has had an okay couple of years, but this year he's been woeful. Don't know what's happened. Don't know what's gone on. And he's not the only one, by the way. So
No,
Marcus Rashford, no, something's obviously not right there for him to be. But you know, he seemed to be smiling and laughing today in training. So hopefully, you know. Some people have had a chat with him and read in the papers. The Alan Shearer rang him, so hopefully that helps. You know, if he didn't fall asleep when he was chatting to him. So, but yeah, so it's just a worry, mate. It's just a worry. You've got Lindelof coming in. The ball, you know, there's the ball going over his head, and he's trying to control it. It's going off his shin. It's like, what's going on? He's just like, and then he. The kid gets in, and then he lets him get past and gets a shot in, and it's the bar.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are you doing? You've made one mistake. Okay, steady yourself and make up for it. And he doesn't. He just makes it even worse. So it's a worry. It's a worry. But you know, you just got to trust the manager, and I trust the experienced players that are talking, and the manager seems to talk well. So he's got a big job, especially with City and Liverpool the way they're going, and Chelsea. So we watched that game last week with Chelsea, and it looked really good. So yeah, they've got a challenge, but you know, let's see if they're up to it.
I find it interesting. Like, first, just what something you said about Maguire. We said during that international break back, I think it was October, when he did the celebration after scoring in like a meaningless game, as if he'd shut up his critics or something. And like we said at the time, what are you doing? Like, the goal means nothing. You haven't played that well in the game. Like, you just put in more pressure and more eyes on yourself. And I agree with what you've said. He needs to shut up and just play. He needs to stop posting and saying these like same sort of stuff and just get on with it, because he's been terrible. But do you know what I find really fascinating from the outside is in September, when Ronaldo signed, you had the lift of the fans and everyone was happy and blah, blah, blah. And then over those next couple of weeks, all of the players, you could probably go through it, and I bet the 99% of the squad said in either an interview or on social media or something how they couldn't wait to learn from him. there was stories about players changing the way they're going to eat and how they're going to look after their bodies because they've been inspired by him. Then all of a sudden, the last couple of weeks, he's a problem and he's this and he's that. But it's like, he's a problem because he expects high standards. And when you don't perform to those standards and you don't try to perform to those standards, he lets you know, as a lot of top players do, because they expect the best. They expect the best in training. They expect their teammates to be able to pass the football 2 or 3 yards. And when they can't do that, he wants to know why. And I just find it remarkable how quickly some of his supposed teammates have kind of tried to hang him out to dry almost. It seems like they're trying to blame him. It's just weird to me. So I don't know. Guys, obviously, if you've got any questions, then obviously send them in and stuff, and we'll have a go. Donna, I just saw your question about Isaac Davis and Steve Morrison. I'll put that to Rhodri in a minute. But I do think when United go out with the FA Cup to Middlesbrough, then there's going to be even more pressure building. So I'd be interested now to hear like Rhodri's take on what he thinks of that draw and whatnot, because Middlesbrough that's a tough draw, mate, isn't it?
No, at home.
Yeah, it is, mate. Championship club doing well in the Championship as well.
Mate,
they're probably United or rest players,
against Championship side. We should be winning that game. No,
well, you should.
Whoever we play, yes, it'll be a tough game, but at home, no, I'm not worried. If it was at Middlesbrough, possibly, but nah. Come on.
Yeah, well, on paper, of course, you should be winning, but like it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, what do you think about what I said about Ronaldo? Like the way that they've kind of all seem to be leaking stories about him. They almost like turn in against him because he's demanding that they be able to pass the football a couple of yards, and they're not putting the effort in. Like he's 37, and I saw a stat on. It might not have been right because it was on social media, but I saw a stat saying that he covered more ground than Marcus Rashford did the other day in one of the games they played. And I'm like, the whole point of Ronaldo signing was that he's supposed to be the focal point, and Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, whoever, Fernandes, they were going to be the legs, and he was going to be the finishing touch, the scorers. And yeah, it's bizarre to me. Bizarre.
It's it's bizarre to me they can even question him. Just question him. First of all, they're all coming in and they're all, you're following Ronaldo, I don't want to eat no pudding. Why not? They sound like a load of yes men, just like, why do you want to eat no pudding? Because he's not there. He just stinks. Just be you. Yeah. And just don't worry about Ronaldo. Put the work in, do your job. That's all you've got to worry about. Just work hard and do your job. And express yourself the way a United player should express yourself, instead of, being consistently rubbish.
Mm.
And you can see that. You can see it. The last 4 or 5 games, and we're not talking about Everton, City, Liverpool. We're talking about Norwich, Newcastle. Who else is it? Norwich, Newcastle. Who else has just
Villa.
played? Villa. Well, Villa are half decent, but
no, but they're still on paper. You should be beating them, shouldn't you?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, most definitely. Yes, we did, but Villa should have won quite easily. Quite easily.
Granit Xhaka has just been sent off again for Arsenal. Gavin just said it was a nasty challenge as well. I'm gonna have a quick look.
Well, he did that a week ago and he got away with it. So
mate, he is. I said in the Euros, mate, absolute liability. Well, he just lets his team down time and time again. Well,
another one that you give captain, you give responsibility to, and you've had to take it off. Now that club's a shambles. They've had 2 skippers there that have been stripped of the captaincy. It's just unheard of. When you have Stonewall captains of your Tony Adams, Patrick Vieira's, and then you've got these 2 clowns. Liability, but the manager's picked him. The manager kept on picking him, and he's got a history of it. he shouldn't be doing this stuff anymore. He's an experienced player.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you still playing him for?
So I just watched it. That it wasn't nasty. It was chest high, but he was looking at he's like looking at the ball, and the ball comes over, and he tries to volley it, and he just knocks it out, and he volleys him in the chest. Got to be sent off. He's last man. He's kicked him in the chest, but it wasn't like the one he done the other week, where he's just studded the guy in the chest on purpose. It was more he was going for the ball, and Jota's just nipped it, and then he rolled. Of course, he just rolls around like the players do. It wasn't quite. Did anyone see that West Ham player the other week? And he got tackled. It wasn't a nice tackle, like, and he literally rolled. I think it was about 10 times, like rolled and rolled and rolled. I thought he was going to roll off the pitch from the middle of the pitch at one point. Like it is. I think it's a sending off for Xhaka there. I think the Jota's through, and he's hit him chest high, so it's got to be a red card. I wouldn't call that one nasty though, because I don't think he's intentionally tried to catch him in the chest, and he's tried to go for the ball.
He's clumsy.
Yeah, but the one the other week was horrible. Like he's
a liability. He's and he could a good play on his day, but he's a liability. Why that? But that's where they're at the minute. Arsenal, they have to sacrifice that for that little bit of quality for his attitude and his mistakes. So that's where they're at the minute. Because if they had the players in and they had the quality of players that they usually have at Arsenal, or they have in the years gone by, then he would be nowhere near that Arsenal side because he's a liability.
But the players of Arsenal gone by wouldn't put up with a Xhaka consistently being a liability. They'd tell him, sort yourself out,
but this is where they're
letting us down.
But this is where they're at. They've got a young squad. He's probably the most experienced player, so who's there to say that to him?
What about okay, we didn't talk about it at the time. What about Aubameyang being stripped of the captaincy? Like, what did you think of that? Like,
why have you even give this guy a captaincy? I do not know.
He's got history for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's it's not good for Arteta by keep on making these decisions. Captain of your football club, the guy's a clown, turning up multiple times late or not turning up at all. It just stinks. Straight away, soon as he got that contract, he just went. It's just unfortunately, it doesn't happen a lot, but unfortunately, it does happen. People get big wages and big stars, but good quality players, they just go. And they're downhill, but they'll still get paid. People take a chance on them because they do what the hardest thing in the sport is: put the ball in it, put the ball in it.
Yeah, and I think look, Arteta had no choice. He had to do it. You could argue, could he have done it maybe like a week or two earlier? I think there's an argument for that.
If you're captain and you turn up late, it shouldn't happen twice.
Yeah.
As soon as it happens once, that's it.
Yeah,
You're the leader. It shouldn't happen. You're the leader. You should be setting examples. There shouldn't be an excuse. They've got no excuse. That is your job. You work for an hour and a half a day.
So Will said, is the captaincy just a title with a few extra quid bonus in today's game?
Not with a team like Arsenal, steeped in tradition. The Arsenal, the team, the Arsenal team. I don't know if they still do it, but you can look out for it now. Actually, So before they go out, we're going to wear long sleeve or short sleeve, and if they say short sleeve, they all got to wear short sleeve. Traditions like that go back years. So yes, it's not like a rugby captain or rugby union or an England cricket captain. It's not as big as that, but you still captain's your leader, and you're second hand to the manager on the pitch. Well, that's why I look at it anyway.
Yeah. So Donna asked a question a bit earlier on. So basically, Steve Morrison's obviously in charge of Cardiff till the end of the season. He got criticised very publicly this week by some ex-players, Danny Gabardon, and a few others, because basically he brought on young Isaac Davis, academy player, brought him on as a sub, and then took him off. I think he brought, from what I can remember, he brought him on at half time and then took him off about midway through the second half. And when he was asked about it in the game afterwards, he basically said he wasn't doing, he wasn't good enough. He wasn't having an impact, so I took him off. So Gabs and a few others sort of said, you didn't need to criticize him like that. And I'm paraphrasing, but like you when you were asked the question, because you knew you were going to be asked that question, you've taken off a young player, you've subbed a sub, you're going to be asked, just say, we needed to do something tactically or whatever. You don't need to hang the player out to dry, especially someone who's coming in from the academy. He's only played a handful of games. And I saw a few people say in the comments, like, in reply to Donna, he didn't say anything, what he said was correct. Isaac Davis was struggling. But, like, where do you stand with it? If he's in the first team, he's got to suck it up? Or have you got to look after your young players a bit better than that?
You have got to look after your young players better than that. He's probably made a mistake and he knows it now. Probably it was too early, or I don't know. But it's all right in hindsight when you start in the studio and you can have a think about it. You can maybe I should say that. It's all right in hindsight. Morrison's in the hot seat. He's making the decisions. Yes, probably in hindsight he shouldn't have said that. But after the game when they shove a mic in your face, you probably say something and you'll probably look at it now and think, I shouldn't have said that. So he's a young manager who's going to make mistakes. So that might be it. When you look at it, ask him now. He's probably knowing it in hindsight. I shouldn't have said that, but it's hopefully this Isaac's got a strong mentality and it doesn't affect him. But because being subbed is it's not good. But he's a young kid and he's playing for the first team at Cardiff City in the Championship, so should be proud of doing that alone. So he'll learn from it. Hopefully, he learns from it and it makes him bigger and stronger. But yeah. I reckon if you asked Morrison now, he'd probably say, you know what, even what I said was right. I could have worded it a bit different.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's all right with the players in the studio or say, he's doing his best and he's giving these kids a chance. But do you leave him out there and embarrass him anymore when he's not doing it and he's out of his depth? Do you do that, or do you bite the bullet and be a man and bring him off for his own sake? So, you might have said that, so you just don't know. But like I say, it's all right in hindsight. People,
I don't have a problem with them taking him off.
Or sat in the studio who don't coach, don't manage, under these pressures. It's easy for people to say it. It's easy for him to say it, but he's took over as a young manager. And like I say, in hindsight, he might just say, you know what, I was right what I said. I'll stand by it.
Like, I don't have a problem with him taking him off if he was struggling. What I have a problem with is just be a bit more tactful with how you word it in the, tell him in the changing room, look, mate, I took you, you're in the first team now. I took you off because you weren't good enough. Go away, work hard, and next time you get your chance, make sure you take it, or whatever you want to say. But then when he does the interview, I feel like he's got to be a bit more tactful and kind of not hang a young player out to dry in public. However, I wanted to ask this question. Obviously, in your brother's early career, Fergie was renowned for protecting him. He didn't do any interviews, things like that. Obviously, there was a thing with the Wales friendlies and stuff like that. Like, do you ever remember Fergie criticising Ryan in his early career publicly?
No.
Wouldn't have happened, would it?
No.
Why?
Everything was in the change room, mate. They were scared to death of him. and Ryan was the one that was always in the fire line because he'd probably get a reaction out of him. Other players you don't do it with because you're not going to get a reaction out of. So that's why he did it to certain players. He got a reaction out of him. He knew how to get reaction out of certain players. That's what made him so great. But publicly doing that, no. First of all, he wouldn't have made that mistake to put a young player in and bring him off. He wouldn't have done that. If they're ready, then they're ready. He's obviously brought him on and the kid's too soon, but he's not in the position that Cardiff are in, that they haven't got the luxury of 20, 30 top class players behind him. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure, no, he wouldn't have. Not many people would.
He didn't
top
criticise
managers.
many players. Like
Hey,
Fergie didn't criticise many players publicly, and single them out.
No, mate, no. He did it all in the dressing room. Flying boots, all that kind of shit. Yeah, you know all about it. He would not publicly criticise, but he would scream and shit scare the death out of you in the change rooms. And they're all scared to death. They're all scared to death of him still.
Yeah,
Like when he comes in, like fucking load of babies when he comes about. It's like, what? He's fucking 80 odd.
Yeah. It's interesting. On the Cardiff front as well, one player who has taken a lot of stick over the last few years, deservedly in my opinion, but deserved the pelters he got, was Bacuna. He's been absolutely dreadful for Cardiff for at least 2 seasons. No one can understand how he keeps his place in the side. No one. But he still seems to be the first name on the team sheet.
Who's this?
But the Bacuna, and he got sent off against Bournemouth, and we went on to lose 3-0, mate. But I tell you what, right, the challenge was... Oh, my God.
Who's this for Cardiff?
Yeah, so the guy's like running away from him, and he's just 2-footed him in the back of the legs. Like, there was just no point in it.
Yeah, and it's totally different situations. With if you're saying with Fergie done it, they were fighting for Premier League titles and not just relegation battles. So they were winning games. So I don't know why he would criticise him. And it was more or less a first team player at age 17. So yeah, it was not. But over the years with the other young lads, like I say, he wouldn't criticise him. He would let them know in the changing room and come out and probably say a totally different thing to the press. That's how he operated. I'd watch multiple press conferences on a Friday. No, he's not playing. He's not ready. Oh, he's on the team sheet Saturday. Multiple times. So, yeah, he was always a fibber, but he got away with it because no one questioned him. If they did, see you later, you're out. Yeah. So, yeah, he reigned with an iron fist, mate. Them reporters were scared to death of him as well.
Yeah, he used to ban reporters, didn't he, as well?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
But, you look at those, and people say, these days, you can't do that. You can't rule with an iron fist. But you can, but you've got to stick by your convictions. So if you're Arteta, if you want to create if you want to create a thing at Arsenal again where the players respect the manager and the club, and they're going to have respect for what you want to do, and you've got to make an example out of someone like Aubameyang, and you say not only is he stripped of the captaincy, but he's gone in January. Those players know that he's done.
It wouldn't be nothing. You just hear, oh, he's sold, he's gone. Like 1 minute we've got Andrew Gonçalves, Mark Hughes, Paul Ince. The end of the season, they're all gone. What? Yeah, they're done. No, Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, all come to the end of the careers. Been there for 9 years. Would they get an extra year? Nope, not 10-year testimonial. See you later, down the road. Next man up. So he was ruthless when he had to be. Roy Keane is his adopted son. Once he'd finished with him, see you later, down the road. Don't need you anymore.
Trying to think if anyone outside Keane had quite a high profile kind of split from Fergie's time at United, as in whereby they had a bit of a spat with him.
Oh, mate,
publicly. There wasn't anyone, was there?
There is. You've got to go back. There was loads. Yes. Andy Cole, him and his wife. When he was at the time, would say things. Andy Cole was a bit.
I was young, though. See.
So there's been times, but there's a respect there as well. But yeah, you'd have spats with him. David Beckham would have his fallouts with him. But that wasn't worried in my opinion, because David Beckham, his work rate never dipped, his performance never dipped. Even what he was doing didn't affect his performances, so I don't know what the problem was. So
he didn't like the celebrity.
He obviously didn't like it, but like I say, it didn't affect his performances, didn't affect his work rate. So what is the problem? You let someone fly kick someone in the head, do whatever he wants to do, and he can do what he wants because it's Eric. But someone else So he had different. To be honest, Eric was probably the only one that he treated different because he was special. So yeah, but other players, he was iron fist, mate, just out, and that's what you've got. Even like I say with reporters, he read an article, he'd out him in the media room and say, right, see you later, you're banned, see ya, come back in a month. You've got to stomp your authority and don't let these reporters take the piss, and because they will. They'll feed you questions, stitch you up. So you just got to be careful and just not put up with this shit and just know what you're doing and just be on top of it.
Lastly, is on Cardiff as well. They got Liverpool in the cup, which has been moved to Sunday lunchtime. It's on ITV.
Oh, has it been moved to Sunday? Has it? I thought it was moved to Monday. Then it's back to Saturday.
No, 12 o'clock Sunday.
My sister and a son. Well, my sister's son's a big Liverpool fan, so I'm trying to get tickets for it.
Okay, there we go. So, do you think there's any chance in any world that Cardiff can get a? There's no replays.
Anyway, it's the FA Cup. You never know, pal. You never know. Second string Liverpool side.
Bakuna hopefully will be out still if the appeal is banned.
You could be in the shop window. You never know.
Score hat-trick, 25 million, easy.
Yeah.
No, I don't think if let's say now the last time we played Liverpool at Anfield, we put on quite a good.
You talk about this young kid, this Cardiff kid, when he got dragged off. Has he played since?
Isaac Davis. I don't think so. I don't think we.
Because I'm hearing that he's 1 minute. Hello. I'm hearing that he scored.
I'll have a look now. He has scored this year. Isaac Davis has. I don't know if he scored in the game after the Wolves game though. Someone in the chat will let me know. Yeah, he scored in the next game.
There's another couple for you, mate. Jim Leighton, Yap Stam. He had fallouts with loads of people.
Yeah, Isaac Davis scored in the FA Cup next game.
There you go. So it's not. So it's still the kid's got a strong mentality. It's not affected him. That's the problem.
Yeah. So and the plus, I saw some people in the chat saying earlier, like Morrison's worked with he was the academy manager before he came in to work with the first team. He's got
a good rapport with him. He's got a good, relationship with him. So yeah, it's obviously he spoke to the kid, and it's obviously not affect him. There you go. He scored twice. So yeah, like I say, in hindsight, he's probably said. But like I said, he might have said, no, I'm happy with what I said. He brought him on, and we need him to. We know the qualities he's got, and that's not what we were looking for. So if he wants to come and play in the first team, that's the quality we need to be looking at. And you've seen the rewards. He scored a couple of goals. So
how many times have we said, mate?
That's why Danny Gabardon sat in a studio and Morrison's got the job.
Yeah. Oof. But then, how many times, mate, have we said that all players, they all react differently to different things, don't they? Some players react to criticism. Some players react to having their arm around them. Some players react to a bit of needle. Some players need a bit more, of an atmosphere, whatever it may be. Maybe Isaac Davis is a player who reacts to a bit of criticism, and if he's not good enough, he likes to be told, "You're not good enough." It's
like no, everyone's different. Put your arm around me and pamper me, then you're not probably going to get much. If I'm doing something wrong and you scream and get me pissed off, then you're going to get a reaction. But some people are totally opposite. And that's about management, about managing different people and getting the best out of them. So if you can't do that, if you're only treating people the same, then you're not going to be a very good manager. They're obviously all can play football because they're professional footballers. You've just got to manage and get the best out of them the best you can. Keep things basically things as simple as you can. These are it's a simple game. It's when you start complicating things, the footballers, we're not the brightest buttons. So yeah, just keep things simple. And but
it's a weird one, isn't it? Because as I've got older, and I think we had this conversation on WhatsApp the other week. But as I've got older, I got no time for bullshit. If I'm having a conversation with someone, I don't want them to tiptoe around what they're trying to say. I just want to come out and say it, or just be brutally honest. Just say whatever it is.
Well, have you seen Idiot Abroad?
Yeah, I seen bits of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I want to be in. I'll go in when someone's talking, fly in and go, bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, it's bullshit, man. So that'd be my superpower. When you hear someone talking bullshit, fly in and go, bullshit. That's what it's a good superpower, that. I agree with you.
I like it.
Just
got no
don't go
time
around
for
the
it,
lines,
mate.
don't talk
Come on.
shit, just be straight up. Let's get it out in the open, let's move on.
Say what you've got to say, sort it, move on.
Yeah. Don't be a bitch and go
Spot
around
on.
the houses.
That's it, mate. What did you see? Have you watched any of the African Cup of Nations, mate?
You what?
Have you watched any of the African Cup of Nations?
Watch the referee blow for a whistle at 85 minutes.
So the referee in the Tunisia and Mali game blew his whistle at 85 and then 89.
But now I'm reading that he got rushed to the hospital.
Oh,
and nearly died from dehydration.
Fucking hell. I didn't know that much.
So he probably wanted to get off and think, I'm going to die here.
Jesus
I need to
Christ.
blow early.
Well, I didn't know that bit. I knew he had done it. I didn't know that he had the health
he was
issues.
in an ambulance.
It's worrying, mate, that is.
In an ambulance on a drip on the way to the hospital. That's what I was reading.
Where in Africa is it being played?
I don't know, but it looks hot.
There's not many cold places, I don't think. In Africa.
No, it looks hot. And it's the winter there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the summer there, isn't it? Or is that Australia? No, Australia's summer, isn't it?
Yeah. Oof. GD Parry says, when you're criticised by someone with authority and experience, even if just under 23's management, it's easier to take that from them than a pundit who was a caretaker manager for a couple of games. Yeah, I think Gab's point of view was that he should have, the way he worded the post-match interview, more than not necessarily him subbing the sub and him then telling him in the changing room. I think that's what his point was, keep it in the changing room.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because he was a young player, but it's not affected the kid. It's obviously galvanised him, and he's come on the next game and he scored a goal or two. So, like I say, he knows the kid. He's worked with him for several months in the academy and the first team. Danny Gabardon doesn't, so it's just different when these people know these relationships.
Yeah, but Danny Gabardon's his mate. That's the other thing, mate.
But I do agree with him. It's harsh, but, you know, it's not affected him.
No,
you're right.
Like,
if he did that to me, I'd be proper pissed off and think, right, you know what? You're never going to fucking say that about me again. That's never going to happen again.
The one thing I will say, Gabs is his mentor. So he has got like a relationship with Isaac Davis as well. So maybe he's taking it like a bit personally or something, or he's... I don't know.
But I understand that, but he's professional. So.
Yeah, I do think there's this... I see the side of it of trying to protect the young player, don't criticise him in public. But then I also have the attitude of, if you want to play first team football, suck it up, get on with it. You're going to get criticised if you're not good enough. You either get good enough or you're not a first team player. So it's a bit, I see both sides of it.
Sink or swim, big boy game.
Yeah, it's especially when you're battling relegation, which Cardiff are. Let's have no doubt about that.
But by the sounds of it, the kid's got a good attitude and be all right.
Yes. When did Man United play at Aston Villa, mate? In the cup?
Saturday. When did they play? Monday, yeah.
So a guy has been jailed already since that because he racially abused staff and 2 police officers during the game.
It's good.
Yeah.
See you later.
Right. But they done that right quick. Couple of days, done. 22 weeks in jail. Good enough for him. And a 6-week ban in order.
Enjoy your porridge. Yeah, boss.
That's fucking idiots. Right. Last 5 or 10. If you've got any questions, send them in. The show is flown by this evening. Absolutely flown by. FA Cup. Who do you fancy now to win that at the moment? If without having a good look at the draw before I bring it all up. Like anyone you saw over that FA Cup weekend and thought, well, they look quite tasty. Couple of shocks in there.
Yeah, who do you fancy? Liverpool or City?
Yeah. What about outside of them then? Because that's
Aston Villa.
Choice, isn't
it?
Oh
no, they got knocked out.
No, they were out, weren't they?
They got knocked out. United knocked them out. It's FA Cup. It's you never.
You can't tell, can you? Until
No,
the last
not the
couple
FA
of rounds.
Cup. Carling Cups, you can pretty predict it, but FA Cup,
Chelsea.
yeah, it's Chelsea. United possibly. It's any of the big ones. It doesn't really go out of the big ones. I know Leicester won it last year, but yeah, I can't see. Excuse me, anyone out there the big four.
So
Possibly an Arsenal or Tottenham.
yeah,
maybe even Leicester again.
Tottenham could be a good shout.
Yeah,
With,
so
like
it's
Conte's
any
doing a good job.
of the top 8, I reckon. I'll
West Ham, mate. I think could be
top
decent
there in the
shout.
top 8. Liverpool going out next round. Will's been on the brains, hasn't
he? Yeah, I say he's been drinking the old Welsh bitter. But looking forward to the weekend, mate. Before we look, Leslie wants you to. He's been banging on about Man United versus Middlesbrough. But what I want you to do is, I know you think Man United are going to win and they should win, obviously. But how can Middlesbrough go and beat United at United?
Just frustrate the hell out of them. Sitting nice and tight. They're not really going to open you up if you're nice and tight and disciplined, and just frustrate them and try and get a goal on the break or set piece. Or you might think, you know what, this United side ain't United side of old. Let's go out and let's put it to them, and let's see where we come out. They might do that. I'd probably do that if I was a manager, because just sitting, you're just a lame duck, aren't you? Where this isn't the United team of old, but United on the counter attack are dangerous. So let's not be too silly and leave us open at the back. But Chris Wilder's a very good coach. So it'd be an hard game, but come on, United at home to Middlesbrough. If we get beat there, come on.
Yeah, it's one of them, though. It is a bit of a catch-22 because United are the team of old, but also if you go at them, that's where they actually do look decent. Is when teams push out and try and score against them. They seem to be strongest when teams open up. So you're like in this catch-22 then, aren't you? Whereas if you frustrate them, they get frustrated quite quickly. They do look devoid of ideas if Bruno Fernandes isn't playing well. And where you got to sort of find a happy medium, I guess. But frustration, I think, is the way I would go. Try and keep it to 0-0 for as long as possible. I certainly don't think that the Middlesbrough have got no chance. But then I wouldn't be surprised if United went and stuck 4 on them either.
So. Yeah, they haven't got no chance. They've got a fighting chance. They've got a fighting chance.
United will switch it up as well.
Yeah,
team-wise.
I don't think they will, mate. I think they're trying to get the team at the minute. So I don't think they will.
Probably their best chance of a trophy, mate. FA Cup.
True. Well, yeah, true. Very true.
Can't see them winning the Champions League, I don't think.
No.
Do you think any British team wins the Champions League this year?
Oh, yeah. You can see City or Liverpool or Chelsea winning it.
Yeah, I got to say, because PSG don't look up to much. Barca, I don't know what's going on at Barca. They're very up and down. So Madrid, same up and down. Yeah, it looks like the English clubs probably are the ones that look most dangerous. Obviously, we can't sort of go through all the various results and stuff of last week's FA Cup. There was a couple of shocks, though, mate, as predicted. What stood out for you from off memory?
Of what?
The FA Cup last weekend. Like, with any which really stuck out for you? I'm trying to think who went out. Swansea went out to Southampton. You'd have expected that.
Arsenal, Forest beating Arsenal.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was as well.
Yeah, it was a good game.
I tell you what was a really good game was the Barnsley Barrow game. 5-4.
Oh yeah. Well, a lad who I used to play with at FC United.
Yeah.
Ollie Banks. He was the one who scored that free kick.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great goal. That was, mate.
Yeah, I played with him at FC United. We was playing at FC United in 2013, 2014, and he couldn't get a game for North Ferriby. He was on the bench, and come to FC United, and a year and a half later he was at Chesterfield.
Oh,
then went to somewhere else, then yeah.
Forest, mate, another team though with a load of like history. They're a massive club. Forest are won the European Cup. Much like Villa, absolute massive football club historically. I would love to see them back in the Premier League one day. But Arsenal should be beating them. Like we said, with United and Middlesbrough.
But this is what I'm saying, mate. If it was at Middlesbrough, you'd give them more of a chance. Because it was at Forest, they've got a chance. That crowd, and Arsenal aren't the Arsenal old either. So
yeah, something there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Someone asked earlier. I think it was tongue in cheek, to be honest. They said, "Rhodri, do you like Lee Sharp?"
Yeah, he's all right, Sharpie.
Right. It's a couple of predictions, mate, for ahead of the weekend, and then we will wrap up for the weekend. Let's have a look. Where we got January? Got the dates, mate. We're flying through January already. So where are we? So fixtures. Cardiff Blackburn. I know that's at Blackburn as well.
Oh, is it? Blackburn are playing well as well, aren't they?
Yes, they are playing very well.
I'm going to go 2-1 Blackburn.
Yeah, I think Blackburn 2-1 myself. Yeah. Right, Man City, Chelsea. That's a big one. I could see Chelsea.
Where's it
at? That's Man City.
Home win.
Donna's just clarified. She said, I wasn't asking if Rhodri likes Lee Sharp. I was asking if Fergie did. I think he went off him, didn't he?
Yeah. But, yeah, he's just quality dips. And once you quality dips and you're down the door, out the door. And obviously when you've got a left winger there, yeah.
Once you're done, you're done.
Yeah, you're done.
Burnley, Leicester at Burnley. Leicester. Okay. Newcastle, Watford at Newcastle. He's gone. He's gone.
Say that again.
You're back now. Newcastle, Watford at Newcastle.
Newcastle 2-0.
Newcastle. Yeah, Chris Wood, hat-trick, 3-0 for me. Chris Wood's going to come in, goal scoring extraordinaire. Norwich City v Everton at Norwich.
I'm going to go home win.
Ooh, interesting. I'm going to go for a draw there. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Southampton at Wolves.
1-0.
2. Nope, he's gone. Didn't like the question. Yes, I won't forget Middlesbrough versus Reading, Leslie. Don't you worry about that. Never forget Middlesbrough. 1-0 to who, mate? Wolves or Southampton?
1-0 Wolves.
Yeah, I think Wolves win there. Villa versus United for the second time in a week.
3-1 United.
Right, I've got to ask, mate. What did you see?
You always play well there at Villa Park.
What did you see on Monday that you think that it's going to be a bigger victory from United?
It's away from home. There'll be more under the cosh. There'll be more. I think they'll be able to get them on the break more. United's team suit probably playing at home better, playing away better. I mean,
their fans are more vocal away as well. They seem to get
more but the team seems to
respond to it.
Yeah, but because obviously the home side and it's their, their home games, so they're probably in the ascendancy more, and they get them on the counter.
Expectancy's on you, isn't it, when you're the home team?
Yes, that's what I was looking at. Yeah.
So then on Sunday, we've got Liverpool-Brentford. I fancy Brentford to get a draw there, mate.
Where's that?
It's at Anfield, but I fancy Brentford, mate. They've been on good
they
form.
had a 3-3. I think Liverpool get them this time, so 3-1.
No, I'll go Brentford draw. West Ham versus Leeds. At West Ham.
West Ham 2-1.
Yeah, I think West Ham's going to win that. North London derby. Tottenham versus Arsenal.
Tottenham 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a draw there. And then especially for Leslie, as requested.
Sit on the fence.
Yeah, well, no, it's not. It's because I know.
It's my opinion.
I know my stuff, don't I?
Yeah,
stuff, don't I? That's why. That's why I'm 26 points ahead of you. It's because I know my stuff.
Well, if you look at average, 6 or 7 points, 5 sevens, 42. No, 35.
It's not about averages, mate. It's about the points on the board. Come on.
Yeah. So
playing to win, mate.
And I've never known a league to end in January. So, like I say, these are all recorded.
Come on. It's all for charity. Come on now.
All recorded.
If it wasn't for charity, I'd be winning.
All recorded.
I'm just saying.
It's all recorded.
Especially for Leslie from Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough versus Reading at the Borough.
Middlesbrough. Reading is shocking. 2-0.
Yeah, I think Reading might go. Was it Reading I was looking at? There was a
Reading
team in the Championship.
Down. Who did they get beat off, Reading?
Oh, I'm going to have a look now. I was looking at the Championship table the other day, and I was like, do you know what? I think they're going to go down.
Is it Boreham Wood?
Yeah, they did go out of the... I don't know if it was Boreham Wood, but they did go down.
Oh, was it Kidderminster?
I'll have to check. But Boreham Wood won, didn't they? Kidderminster beat them.
Yes, Kidderminster non-league side.
Yeah, Kidderminster beat Reading. But what I laughed at was the manager of Reading complained afterwards about the fans coming on the pitch, and he said, "Oh, it wasn't safe." Fuck off. Where's your passion? Reading it was. Derby creeping up there now towards the out of the relegation zone by I reckon by the end of March. Derby be out of that bottom three. Reading going down, mate. Barnsley going down, and I think probably Peterborough or Cardiff. They would be my predictions if you asked me today. We don't need to look at that, Will. Thank you. He says if you look at the results section of the Super 6, it'll give you your averages over the rounds you've entered.
Yeah, let's do that.
Pound for pound equivalent. We don't need to.
Yeah, let's do that.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Then you've got to add the average on for the 5 weeks. Let's do that. Well done, Will.
Yeah, nice one, Will. Look, I don't want to bore the people by looking at that now. So what we'll do is we'll have a look. We can bring it up. We'll add it
on at the end of the year.
Yeah. We'll have a look next week, innit? Was it Super 6? Come on. If you've got any questions, get them in now. Reading lost 7-0 to Fulham. That was the result I was on about.
Reading are going down.
I know Fulham are good, mate. Come on.
Downtown on the A train. Reading are going.
You don't lose 7-0 to a team in your league, do you?
No.
Mitrovic is back on form as well, getting the goals for Fulham.
Liverpool nearly scored.
Let's have a look at the old Championship table. So I think that Fulham and Blackburn will go up. Bournemouth will go up in the playoffs. And I think Reading, Barnsley and Peterborough will go down. Cardiff will survive on the last day of the season because they're fighters. Are they balls? Yeah, it will bore you, GD Parry. Come on now. Don't be saying that. So what do I do? Well, I go into what did he say? Go into the results section. And then it'll give you your averages. So my average point. What's your average points this season then, Rod? We'll have a look at yours. I can't look at yours.
All right.
So you just log in and go to results, and it'll tell you your average. Under where it says next round, it says total rounds entered, and then your average round.
Where do you go? Results.
Where the 3 bars are on the side, on the left-hand side, like the menu.
All right. Yeah. So what do you go average points?
So you click on results, and then you know where it says like next round, so it'll say round 32 entries, enter now, and then it says personal season stats, and it'll tell you how many rounds you've entered.
Say that again. Start again. What do I do?
So go to the menu thing on the top left.
Yeah.
And then press results.
Yeah.
And then it'll say in the middle of the screen, it'll say like next round, 15th of January.
It's not
and
said
then
that.
underneath
It's not said that to mine.
It's because your average is so poor that they don't want to put it down there.
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, unfortunately,
I'm pressing results on more. Press
so
more and go into
so you know,
results.
like let me just check. There's nothing on my phone, which I don't want people to see. So you know, if you dash, can you see that?
So I've missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right,
5.
so are you counting the ticks there now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've missed.
Are you missing? Are you counting when you counted that? Did you count the ticks that you've entered?
No,
yeah?
look.
No, yours is different. You got an iPhone, have you?
Yeah.
So yours is different. On mine, it says my average and how many rounds I've entered. I've missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds, mate. So you know this excuse that you've missed 5 weeks at the start of the season doesn't really hold up because I've missed 5 as well.
I missed 8. 8.
Oh, it's going up now, isn't it?
Well, I just shown you. I'm just seeing it. How many ones it tells me how many I missed at the front. Oh, my average points is 8.
Oh, good. Will says update.
Moving swiftly on.
Well, Andrew has asked a question, so I thought it'd be rude to spend too much time on this.
Because that even if it was just your 5 to my 8.
Yeah, but yours.
No. It was a comma, not a full stop. So just mine was that. Mine was 3 8s. That's 24.
But your average is averaged over less games, so of course it's higher.
Yes. Yeah.
Basic maths, mate. Come on.
Yeah. So that 25 points would probably leave me a point behind. It's all over for you. Curtains. I don't need it. You can have
anything,
the cushion.
Cling into anything.
You can have the cushion. Have it. It'll taste that much sweeter at the end.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to finish top of the league. Yeah, I told you that. Andrew wants to know, what do you think about Middlesbrough making a challenge for promotion from a championship?
Yeah, I like it.
I think they'll make the playoffs 100%. I don't think they'll win the playoffs because there's at least... So, like, if you think Bournemouth, Fulham, Blackburn, top 3, there's a very good chance one of them is going to be in the playoff final. And then you've got West Brom.
You never know, mate. You never know. It's so tough.
It is a lottery, isn't it?
And you always have one coming up the ropes at the end. Like, i.e. a Forest who are coming up flying or at the last bit of the season or Middlesbrough. You always get
someone in there.
Yeah.
What I would say is, as the table stands now, the best hope if you could get your Blackburn and West Brom, if they play each other in the semi-final, then suddenly that does open it up a lot if the two top teams play each other in the semi-final. But as it stands, I think they'll make the playoffs. I just don't think they'll win the playoffs. But they got a striker. I'd like to see them strengthen in January. I know they brought in a striker from Arsenal on loan and someone from Burton. But I'd like to see them, they do need to strengthen some people. On Middlesbrough, I just saw something. So they've got a defender called Mark Bowler, 24 years old. He made a historical tweet where he referenced someone's sexual orientation. Seems to be some sort of like banter type thing going back between him and someone else. Wasn't aggressive or anything like that. He was 14 at the time, and he's been warned by the Football Association with it and reminded of the rules. Do you think that's appropriate, or do you think he's 14, just leave it alone? Like, they haven't fined him or anything. They've just kind of said, come on, that's not acceptable.
What's this?
Me. So Middlesbrough defender, Mark Bowler. He's 24 now. And so when he was 14, 10 years ago.
Oh, mate, I don't want to go into this. This is bollocks.
It's stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stupid. Stupid. The kid, he was a kid. He's a kid.
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, mate, is
ridiculous.
they didn't fine him or anything. They just warned him. So I think
it's rightly so. He's a kid. He's 14.
You can't
if
go
I
back
had Twitter,
that
if
far,
I had
can you?
Twitter when I was 14, I'd be deep in trouble.
So, mate, if I had a phone with a video, I'd be in deep shit
Oh yeah,
when I was a teenager, mate.
If there was phones about video cameras when I was a kid, it'd be, oh my god. Yeah, no.
It's scary to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Going back 10 years ago, oh, you did this when you was 14. You're taking a piss.
14-year-old as well, and like
no, yeah, it's not. Don't. It's crap. It's crap.
Yeah. So, and Will makes a point. He said a 14-year-old outside of football wouldn't have had their names released to the public anyway for any offences.
Exactly.
So why are they even bothering to bring it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Will's coming with some good content tonight. You have to come on and get it.
He was, and then he started going on about average scores and that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's ridiculous.
He knows what he's on about. Wants a fair competition.
Fair competition. That's why I've missed 5 weeks to try and. Yeah. So we both missed 5 weeks each, and then you've gone and missed.
I've just shown you. I missed 8. Obviously.
That's what I mean. That's not my fault. I missed 5 to make it fair. And then
I missed them on purpose to give you a chance. I told you.
I don't need a chance, mate. I'm 26 points in the league.
That's my opinion.
Do
you like that comma and full stop when you can use that again?
I am going to use that.
Yeah, you can use that again.
I'm going to use that with my 17-year-old son.
Yeah.
Probably tonight.
Yeah.
It's the way things go.
I always use it. They hate it.
Yes.
Oh, that's a comma, not a full stop.
I like it. Yes, indeed. Right, guys and girls, it's been a pleasure as always. Audio version will be out tomorrow. Got a new sponsor for the channel as well, ExpressVPN. Just waiting for it to be all set up properly. You can use the link though. Just go to expressvpn.com/Ace Nation Army. And if you sign up, there's 3 different things. You could do it per month, per 6 months, or per year. If you do it per year, you get 3 months free. So as always, please do support our brand sponsors. And mate, if you haven't got a VPN these days, I just don't know what you're doing with yourself.
What's a VPN?
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. It protects your internet privacy, mate, and it also can allow you to watch Netflix from other countries. American Netflix is much better. Australian Netflix is much better as well. But also you can watch like Premier League football on Saturday.
I ain't getting involved with anything Australian in a minute because them lot over there are acting weird.
Panic, mate, isn't it? Fear, mate.
Weirdos.
People reacting badly.
Weird. You're locking people up and putting people. Yeah, it's weird.
People, it's just constant. Like when you're bombarded with just be afraid. People act weird as fuck, and I just think over the next few years, the amount of people who are going to end up having nervous breakdowns and stuff is.
It just makes you have a big garden and have a work gathering, and you'd be sweet.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, Ace Podcast Nation team meeting.
Yeah,
bring your own booze.
It's a work gathering. Bring your own booze. Yeah,
that's it. Right, guys, nice one. We'll be back next Thursday. Show of Sunday. Got Cage Warriors MMA fighter Michael Figlak is joining us on Sunday. Really looking forward to that. Plus Ben Doherty joins us. So it's going to be an action-packed show as ever. And for the Patreons, who I always like to shout out, I appreciate you all. Had some new ones today as well. We got a Patreon question and answer show live on Monday. So join us for that. If you haven't signed up for the exclusive content, then what are you waiting for? It's just the price of a pint per month. Nice one, mate.
Nice one.